What did Charlie Kirk know? Charlie Kirk was an extremely intelligent man who based his entire persona, his entire business, and life around asking questions. You mean to tell me that Charlie Kirk had no idea what was going on in his inner circle? I'm sorry, guys, that don't fly with me. Hey guys, before we get started, do me a favor. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And don't forget to share this out if you know somebody who will enjoy my content. I really do appreciate all the support I'm getting. Guys, today I want to talk about Charlie Kirk and what he actually knew. What surprises me is that Charlie Kirk is extremely intelligent, right? He did nothing but ask questions. So he didn't vet the people in his inner circle. You mean to tell me, as intelligent as this man was, he didn't know who he had running his businesses? He didn't know what was actually going on in his inner circle? Come on, guys. That doesn't fly with me. Does it really fly with you? So many people want to put a halo on this man and act like Charlie Kirk could do no wrong. He never did any wrong. No, Charlie Kirk was human. Charlie Kirk ran a multi-million-dollar organization. Charlie Kirk made mistakes. I'm pretty sure Charlie Kirk wasn't perfect. And so I find it funny that people want to sit there and act like he had no idea any of this was going on within his marriage, his businesses, his friendships. None of it. He was just so oblivious to all of these people. He didn't vet a single person in his inner circle. Come on, guys. Charlie Kirk knew who these people were. Now, I am not sitting there dogging Charlie Kirk at all, by any means. The man was intelligent. The man believed what he believed, and he spoke on it. And so he gets respect for that. However, I'm not going to sit there and make him some kind of idol that he wasn't. I'm not going to make him something better than human, right? And so I still believe that something happened to Charlie Kirk. I still believe that his inner circle may have known more or have had something to do with his demise. Allegedly, of course, right? I'm not making any accusations. I'm just telling you all what I personally believe, and that is what I believe. But there's nobody that can convince me that Charlie Kirk had no idea what was going on around him. As smart as he was, as much as he asked questions, I just don't believe it. I just don't believe Charlie Kirk didn't pick up any red flags. He didn't vet his people. I know who your father is. Oh, your father knows his father? Like, come on, guys. You didn't know who your wife was. You knew who your in-laws were, right? He just wasn't smart enough to ask those questions. Charlie Kirk just couldn't ask those questions. Every other question was okay, but not those questions. He wasn't smart enough to pick up on that. Y'all, he knew exactly, in my opinion, Charlie Kirk knew exactly who he had running his businesses. He knew exactly who he laid in bed with every night. He knew much more than people want to believe. And I think that people don't want to believe it because they want to put Charlie up on some pedestal, or they think that if you ask questions about Charlie Kirk, that means he doesn't deserve justice. That's not the truth. What happened to Charlie Kirk needs to come to light, and he absolutely deserves justice. But we can't forego and pretend that this man, as smart as he was just so innocent. He vetted everything else he spoke about, but not his own people. Charlie Kirk absolutely knew about the assaults and the professor watch list because he created it. So Charlie Kirk knew about the voting fraud within the company, right? His own people were charged with voting fraud. He knew all of that was going on. years ago. So now all of a sudden he's asking questions and he's gone. I don't believe that. I believe that he backed himself into a corner when it came to donors and everybody else, that he finally was like, you know what? I'm so deep, I got to get out. And I think that's why he started asking the question and wanted to do things right, maybe turn it over and start fresh. You just can't convince me that Charlie didn't know the fraud and the scamming and the connections that were going on within his little inner circle. So what made Charlie start asking questions? What got Charlie feeling like things went too far? That to me is the question that we should be asking. What happened in his little inner circle that made Charlie feel like I'm in a position that I need to get out of? Because I personally believe he was in this position all along. You knew, multi-million-dollar organization. You knew who you would get in bed with. You knew the whole Israel donor thing. Like, you knew it. He knew. So what drew the line? What was the point that he could no longer go? That is the question I feel like people need to start asking. Candace Owens, while I respect what she's doing, I respect the fact that she is out there trying to find justice for her friend and trying to find out what really happened. And again, she's great entertainment. I do believe she is really trying to bring all of this to a head. But my question to Candace Owens is, you also were involved with Turning Point USA and Charlie. Also an intelligent person. And you mean to tell me that nobody knew what was really happening behind the scenes? Guys, I can't accept that. As an intelligent person myself, I can't accept that. I question that. So what did Charlie know? Because I understand you want to call people out for their wrongdoings, but then you'd have to call Charlie Kirk out as well. Because there's no way that this intelligent man didn't vet the people who are running his companies. There's just no way, in my opinion, that happened. And again, this isn't a shot at Charlie. I'm not saying anything bad about him. The justice still needs to be done. I still believe that the people in his inner circle had something to do with it, allegedly, in my opinion. For entertainment purposes only, of course. No accusations. But that's what I believe. I believe that money makes people do crazy things, and he was only human. If money didn't mean anything to Charlie Kirk, he wouldn't be worrying. He'd be out there speaking and not worrying about more money, right? Money wouldn't have been too important if it was ultimately just about him doing the right thing. No, it was a business like all other businesses. So that means Charlie Kirk knew more than what people are thinking. So now what made Charlie stop? What made Charlie stop and say, this has gone too far? That is the question I believe that we need to answer. Because the more we go on looking into this, acting like Charlie never did any wrong, you're going to miss what actually happened. You're not going to be able to focus on the truth if you can't accept that Charlie wasn't perfect and that Charlie had to have known something. Now, again, the question is, what did Charlie know? And what was the thing that made him really stop and say, we need to check this all? Something's just not right. So guys, I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. And again, when it comes to investigating something, you have to look at it and leave emotions out of it. I don't know that I believe that Candace Owens can actually do proper investigating, because I think that emotionally she is tied to Charlie Kirk. You can't be emotionally tied to any which way if you're going to look for the truth. Because sometimes the truth might be that we have to accept something we don't want to. And if you are in it emotionally, you're going to push that aside, and that could be a big piece of the puzzle. I'm just saying. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Let me know. I'm going to be doing some video responses to some great comments that I saw in my videos last week. So just watch out for them. They're coming. But again, let me know what you guys think. I'm really curious I want to know, do you think Candace Owens can actually put aside her relationship with Charlie and really investigate this truthfully? I don't know, guys. I'm just saying, I'm every rose knows, and there's that.